All right, welcome everybody. This is the Backdrop Dev meeting, the weekly dev meeting. We don't have the formal Google Doc with all the regular things that we'll follow through, so this might be a little scaled back, but we're going to meet and discuss with a focus on maybe the upcoming release. But maybe we can start off by doing introductions. I'm Laren Kropbaker. And I'm a core committer and work with Backdrop at Atten Design Group. Greg, do you want to go next?
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm usually in Melbourne, Australia, but now joining from central Greece. Less than ideal setup. There's a lot of things happening, including nature and dogs barking and roosters going. So I might be muting myself from time to time and stopping what I'm doing. But yeah, excited about the upcoming release. I haven't kept up with the issue as much, but I'm eager to do that. And if anyone would like to sprint anytime between now and I guess August 30th or 1st of September, just let me know. That's it. Let's go to Eli.
Hello, my name is Eli Lissick. I'm a developer at Giant Rabbit, and I'm calling from San Diego, California.
I'll jump in. I'm Tim Erickson. I'm in St. Paul, Tim, in the IssueQs and on the internet. I am in Deerwood, Minnesota. Just returned from finished a 10-day theater festival in the Twin Cities. So settling back into work. Martin, do you want to go?
Hello, I'm Martin Price, System Horizons in the United Kingdom, a Backdrop developer, contributing mostly to the contrib space and occasionally to core. I'm not sure who's hasn't gone.
That'd be easy.
Is Izzy?
Just Izzy, yep.
Hi, I'm Izzy. I'm a freelance developer in Vancouver, Canada. I'm enjoying Backdrop, and I've been doing Drupal for 16 years. And here I am.
Okay. Good. Laren, are you prepared to jump in and sort of facilitate the discussion, or do you want
I have to be honest, I'm still getting my
Okay.
land legs back after
Sure.
a vacation, but I hear Izzy has a topic he wants to discuss. I didn't bring anything myself.
Okay. So again, I think it's already been alluded to, but why don't we remind people that we have a feature freeze on August 1st or September 1st. Probably we'll get clarity next week on exactly how that's going to happen. There is a holiday sometimes around there. I don't know if it affects it this time. In the US, it'll be Memorial Day. That may or may not influence it. But so
Yeah, I'm looking at the calendar. Sorry, Tim. I'm looking at the calendar. The September 1st is a Sunday. So what happens usually is we go on, like we try to take advantage of the weekend. So it's most likely going to be September the 2nd.
Okay, Monday is a holiday in the US, I think, isn't it? Anybody know?
So if it is the holiday, if it is that, then we also take advantage of that. So it might be the 3rd, September the 3rd then.
Well, we'll ask Nate to give her clarity on that next week. But so roughly 2 weekends, right? You got 2 weekends, I think. Okay. Izzy, did you have an issue, and are you ready to talk about it?
Well, there are a couple of issues. I think one of them, I'll just put it in the chat if I can pull that off.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Yeah, 6675. I'm not sure how much of an issue this is for me anymore, because Randy Fay gave a suggestion about how to deal with it. This was the issue of whether or not Backdrop releases should include a tarball instead of just a zip. And that's useful for some development situations. The one I've been working on lately has been the Drupal Forge Quick Start, and Randy has been doing something with the DDEV Quick Start for Backdrop. And not having the tarball means you have to go through some extra hoops to extract the latest release. Randy has a method that he shared. He thinks it's ugly. Since it's code, I'm not sure how much it matters, but that's in flux. So if anyone else wants to weigh in on that issue, that would be fine. I can dig through for the other issue that I'm hoping to work with Clonus, or Greg, I should say, on to try and introduce partial word searches. If we can get that into shape, then it might be something worth bringing into possible release candidate. It needs a little bit of work yet.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
those
on
are the
that,
two
like-
things.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying those are the only two things that are on my mind.
Okay.
Included in the releases, it's they are going to be. I haven't kept up in the last couple of weeks, and I see that Nate, Jen, and Randy had some back and forth. I haven't kept up, but they're like, we have the packager on the backdropcms.org side of things, and I think that there's going to be some adjustment. There's going to need to be some adjustment there as well to accommodate for that, because the zip releases that we do, there's things that are being updated in the .info file, or the version number being updated, and certain things being removed, like hidden directories. So the same thing would need to be done with that asset, I am assuming. But I haven't read what Zen and Nate said about with regards to whether we actually want to do that.
My impression is that there's tentative, not approval, but tentative, positive vibes. Although maybe not promoting the tarball as in as many places as the zip, but making it available. I could be wrong, but that's my impression after skimming that.
Yeah, and
When I've looked at the packaging script, I think a lot. What it does is it kind of does the stuff with the file and then packages it up. So I think it would be a case of simply adding in that extra step after the processing's happened.
The comment that seemed really helpful to me, and I haven't followed the discussion closely, is Jen pointed out that in Backdrop we eliminated the tarball because most people didn't really need it and we wanted to keep things simple. But she said, given legitimate use cases for it, it seems like we could package a tarball, but not like provide it on backdropcms.org. So if people need the tarball, they know where to find it on GitHub. So it would be available on GitHub, but it wouldn't necessarily be promoted on backdropcms.org or in the project browser. And that makes sense to me.
Yeah, and I guess that would be enough for what Randy is trying to do with DDev, right? So they should be able to pull, pull the asset from GitHub.
Right, and Izzy, I think, as well, right? That would solve your use case. And Martin, you had a use case as well with B, didn't you?
No, I mean,
No.
we've got B. B already covers it. Part of the download script, it handles it anyway, so it's not a problem. And even if you decide to get a non-release and it comes with like the tag on the end, then it strips that out and puts it all in the right folder. So we're fine with B, and we've got B included by default in Lando. So there's no issue really for Lando, and no issue for B with the current arrangement.
Martin, I'm wondering if you could add that comment about B into the issue. I know Randy was also looking at trying to get B incorporated into DDEV. From my perspective and working on the Drupal Forge, it's no longer an issue because we've been able to use the line that Randy shared in that issue.
Sure.
So, you know, it's becoming less
Okay.
important for me.
Okay. Well, maybe it's a non-issue then, and we should just leave it.
Yeah, but I
Until-
think it is helpful. It would be helpful to have the comments about how B handles it, because it could be something that we might use and Randy might be able to use. Anyway, I think it's a worthwhile comment to add into that queue.
The gist of it, as I see it, is that we're not trying to change anything that is existing. Like we are not going to remove the dots,
No.
providing the dot zip, right?
No.
So just adding the tarball, and what, like the most, and who the person that actually started the issue is the person that is working on DDEV, right? So we're making it easier for the people that are maintaining DDEV to
No,
uh,
actually,
we make-
Greg, this isn't about
Sure.
DDEV at all. It was, I think Izzy raised the issue for Drupal Forge. And then Randy provided a solution that Randy's already solved this.
No, Randy actually raised the issue first,
Oh, he did. I'm sorry.
related to DDEV, and I found it in regards to that. And then subsequently, he did offer something that we found useful.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what Brandy is saying is basically it's the way that it is now. It's sort of like a maintenance overhead, or as he says, like it's an ugly script that workaround that he needs to do. It would have been very much easier if it was a tarball. So basically we're making it easier for the people that are maintaining a very popular tool that
Right.
helps you set up local environments. So
Okay. Okay, well, I have a different issue. I'm trying to find it right now. Maybe you can help me, Greg. It's the one about these on install, the modules not being found. Project, here it is. I think it's issue 6607. Yeah,
yes, apology. I'm gonna need to get the dog inside the house so that I can talk. Just
okay.
bear with me. Sorry.
No problem. So issue number 6607, this is, Greg has actually worked on a PR, and we'll wait for him to come back. And maybe we should wait for him to come back and see if somebody else has an issue. I just want sort of a status update. This is a kind of, I've put a lot of work into this recipe, and it's just throwing up errors or warnings during the installation process that are not necessary. And it would be really helpful to have those removed, but doesn't actually block somebody from using it. So anyways, I was hoping here's Greg.
Sorry. Yes. I was distracted. So sorry, what issue it was?
This was
about?
issue 6607. It's the project installer. Do not try to fetch release information about submodules that have been added as dependencies. Basically, the quick description of the problem is if I create a dependency on a module that has a submodule, I think I have to make the submodule a dependency in order to force it to install it. But when I do that, Backdrop says it can't find the submodule because it's looking for it, but in fact it does find it. So if you just ignore the warning and proceed, everything is fine. But Backdrop is throwing up this warning saying, I can't find this module. And Greg, you had
Yeah, I
a
remember-
solution that didn't
Yeah.
work. Do you think you're close to fixing that, or is it more complicated?
Yeah, I haven't touched it in a few weeks now, but I
Yeah.
remember that I fixed the use case, the test scenario that I had on my local, and then you gave it a go with your recipes, and it wasn't working as expected.
Right.
I haven't worked after that. I remember that that was the last place where it was left. I was meant to test things. So it worked for my use case
Sure.
with the modules that I was testing, but then it seems that it's breaking your recipes the way that they're done.
Okay.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I just need to check the logic and accommodate for your use case as well. It's just that I haven't worked on it.
Oh, I got a raccoon walking across the yard. They usually don't come out in the day. If anybody wants to test this issue, all you have to do is spin up a backdrop demo site and install the digital agency recipe package. And you'll see the problem as it installs it. So, and that's sort of what, I've been pushing this digital agency recipe package in Zebra, and I'm going to be talking about that in the user group meeting coming up. So anybody who sticks around for that, we can look at this issue again. But in the middle of it, just throws up all these unnecessary warnings in the middle of the install process that look kind of scary. They might actually cause a user to stop the process and think it's not working. And so I don't know. I'm tempted to, if we don't get this fixed, my hack might be if I can insert my own status message saying, please ignore the warnings you're seeing, or just to put something in the README that says that there are some unnecessary warnings that come up. Okay.
Thank you,
Go
Tim.
ahead.
Tim, thank you for identifying that issue, because I was just installing Digital Agency last evening
Okay.
to test that, and I saw all of these warnings and notices, and we're starting to think, oh my God, we got to dig in through all of these as well. So I think it's good to know which issue that's being discussed in.
Sure. 6607 is the issue. So if you want to look that up, and you can comment there.
Yeah, I put it in. I put it in the chat.
Okay. I did create I'll put it in Zulip. I did create an agenda document where we can at least link to the issues that we're talking about today. So yeah. Does anybody, the other issue I would that I'm really advocating for this release is the one we talked about a couple weeks ago with the quick start on the layouts for individual content types. And I think the status of that one is really that there is some debate about, we sort of implemented multiple places to monitor where these layouts are. And some people think that's too much. And I think Jen had some feelings on this, and we were hoping to get her feedback on it. So, and since she's not been able to attend meetings, I think what I need to do is just put a very specific, ask her in the issue queue to reply when she has time.
So it seems to me it was very funny from a user experience perspective, because I think that Jen and I are on the same sort of like group of people that prefer the many places where you can sort of like have as entry points to that feature. But at least Andy and Nate, when they tried it, it confused them. Like the specific steps that they took ended up being confusing for them. So I guess we have two camps, so to say.
Well,
yeah, I'm not sure.
Let me put a link to the PR. There's a PR for this, so anybody can test the PR sandbox. And so I suppose for this meeting, pending, well, we definitely want some specific people feedback. Anyone else that has feedback on this issue could be very helpful. So I'll put that in the notes, and in the I gotta find the issue. But we could go ahead and move on to another issue.
Yeah, just before we move on, just a generic, not directly related to that, but there's been a few issues over the years where we sort of like have debates of whether things should be exposed in one way or another in the UI. And we have been postponing, and the general policy is that we try to have sensible defaults that are good for everybody and reduce the amount of options that people have, choices or decisions that people have to make. And And from time to time, we throw the idea of having a place like under configuration user, I think it's called user interface, where currently it only holds the settings for the admin bar, to actually have a place where we sort of like have settings for those things. And at some point, I think that we're gonna just have to bite the bullet and add settings for those things, or maybe we can start with a contrib module that adds settings. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because when we get stuck about in such issues where two camps prefer one thing or the other, just adding a simple checkbox would help these issues move on, you know, and make both camps happy. That's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
So
This
just
is issue 2894, by the way.
yeah, I just want to clarify that because it says that the PR needs work on that, and I haven't really looked at that one at all.
Well, yes, and basically the author of the PR, Doc Wilmot, has said that he doesn't want to work on it anymore until we decide which approach we're going to take. So yes, the PR is not ready to like merge yet, but it's also not, the work won't get done until we get more feedback. So we need the PR works. It's not complete. It's not like release ready, but you can go in, you can test it. I think there might actually be one or two sort of quirky bugs, but nothing that prevent you from using it. And Doc Wilmot has basically said he doesn't want to invest time fixing these bugs if the approach isn't, decided. So.
Yeah, well, the way that he put it is like if we review it and then people disagree with the current implementation, so he doesn't want to spend time on things that we might decide to not do after all. But testing it would help, and providing feedback would help unblock these things, right? Get to a consensus, I guess.
Absolutely, more feedback on this issue would be helpful. And there's 3 PRs. It's the last one is the one you want to test. That's the one that sort of provides all the. Maybe I need to do a summary that points out exactly what it is that we're discussing right now and need feedback on.
Well, if you can play with all PRs and compare between them and just try to see which one makes more sense to you, which one provides the best UX and the less UX quirks, right? So it's good that we have multiple PRs because people can compare the various suggested solutions in a way, right?
Yeah, my only hesitation is I don't know the status of the older ones. I don't know if they're up to date,
right?
If they're actually working. I know the third one is working, and it seems to be the consensus one so far. But if you can test multiple ones, that would be great too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There is another issue. I've put it in the chat. It's 4778, and this is the native dark mode. And it seems to be working quite well, and it might be one to consider for the release.
Yeah, I think that one is not blocked per se. It's just I think Wes is driving the PR for that. It's just him finding time to work on it. Last I checked, it was a few of us provided feedback on certain things that still need tweaking, like contrast and certain things that were not taken into account. But yeah, it's looking really good.
Yeah, it looks like since Wes has posted, Greg, Indigozella, and Izzy have all provided detailed feedback. I've looked at it. It looks good. I don't feel like I have anything to add beyond what's already been added. But maybe I should just post a supportive comment in there to say.
Yeah, the last time I talked to Wes about it, maybe a week ago, maybe less than a week ago, he said he was still focused on the dark theme. He's still working on it.
Right. Cool. Right.
Yeah.
Maybe we can sprint on it. Yeah, I wouldn't like us to just get into a situation again where perfect is the enemy of getting things done. Maybe we can merge what we have by the end of the like close to the feature freeze, and then we have another 2 weeks to polish things once we get the main functionality merged in, and Wes does not have to be.
Sure. I don't know if it's me or you, Greg.
in
but
the next release would be
Greg,
an awesome feature.
is it me or Greg? Greg's audio seemed weird.
Hearing on my phone and sometimes it breaks. Like, did you
think
lose
it's
what I
him.
was saying? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's stabilized now.
Okay, yeah, sorry. If you tell me which bits you missed, or if it made sense.
I couldn't hear you at all for about 5 seconds, but I don't know if it mattered.
Oh.
I think we got the gist of what you were trying to say.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn off my video just to see if it improves things. So what I was saying is basically I don't want us to delay this, and I would like to see it like if it's polished enough, and if it is a setting in the 7 theme, maybe we can ship it with the next release, and then we have 2 weeks to polish it after the feature freeze. And maybe it's not turned on by default for this release, but then once we polish it enough, we can make it. When I say turned on by default, I mean the respecting the system settings. So your operating system has a setting that says turn on dark mode for things that support it. So we can have that disabled in this iteration, maybe have it be manual, like a setting that says enable dark mode or something like that. But the point is this, that it doesn't have to fall. Not everything has to fall on Wes's lap. He can
Yeah.
get the main functionality in, and then we can polish things out.
Okay. Anything else?
The other thing that I think, yeah, the other thing that has good traction is issue 6660, the one that has to do with the languages being imported during installation, like the language selection for the installer that Andy is working on.
Yeah. Where is that one at right now? I haven't. It seems like it was pretty close.
Been doing a thorough review. I haven't, as I said, I haven't kept up with the queue, but last I remember is that Document has been addressing because I'm in slow internet connections while here in Greece, not because of Greece, but the remote places that I visit. There's one point where you select the language and click next, and it takes quite a few, like maybe 10 seconds on slow internet connections to actually see something being done. So it feels as if it's not doing anything. We could add some progress bar that says that it's downloading the file or trying to fetch the file or something like that. That was the one major thing that I found. Then other than that, yeah, that's it.
Okay, so it looks like Doc Wilmot has got. It seems like the PR is mostly working. Doc Wilmot has gotten some solid feedback on a few things that need to be fixed, and that's the next step because it just needs a little more work. Is that right?
Yeah. More testers, more testers as well, because so far it has been just Indigo Zele myself, I think. So if more people can test it, that would be great.
The very last comment, Doc Wilmot didn't comment, but he removed the needs work and asked for code review and testing. So maybe people need to go back and it just needs more testing and feedback.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's a really it's like, you know, once you see the difference between what we had and what this PR does, it's like such a like why has it taken so long to do this? It's like it seems like such an obvious and helpful thing. So okay, any other issues?
Yep, there's also 6680. So this was spun up as a follow-up from other issues. Alan Mells sort of like reported a problem with trying to upload files with extensions that are provided by Apple's numbers, and I can't remember. It's just a suite of 3 applications that are the equivalent of a spreadsheet, slideshow, etc., and presentation. So they were because because they were being detected as an octet, so as a generic binary file, there were problems. So yes, it was extensions for numbers, keynote, and pages, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So anyway, in the past there were some very preliminary work to add MIME types for these types of files, but now the authority, the IANA thing, whatever, the authority that specifies these MIME types have since, like, it's been a few years, provided a standardized way to map those. So that's RGPiano has been working on that.
Yeah, I don't know. RGPiano thinks this Apple thing is going to stick around for a while, so
Yeah.
we should probably pay attention. Okay.
Yeah, and that needs code review and testing. It seems pretty simple. I just left a suggestion there, but maybe we don't need to include the earlier incarnations of these MIME types and just use the most recent.
Okay. We'll just kind of put that in the issues we talked about. Anything else?
There's a few bug ones, like bugs on the list recently discussed, but I want us to focus on feature requests. I'm going through the queue now. Oh yeah, that's on me. It's 6290. The responsive step wizard for update PHP and install PHP. I've marked that with design and hope to get some feedback from people, but it's also on me to resolve the conflicts in the PR and update it so that people can have something to play with. I'm not sure if we can get this in for the next release, but I would like to progress it. And then, yeah, all right. These are worth mentioning as well. IndigoZilla has been working to update the pull requests for updating jQuery UI and we've also started last time. It's been a couple of weeks, as I said. We started the 2 wiki pages describe the series of tests that we do with each update, just to make sure that we'll have some consistent checklist of things to test these updates. My recommendation was that if we are to include major updates for CKEditor, at least we should be doing it, if not for the new minor release, very soon after that, so that we can have a whole cycle in front of us to do the testing. But it's been a few versions that we missed, so maybe it's a good idea to update to at least one minor version of CKEditor. So these are issues 6550, 6677. Yeah, I can't remember and 6481.
What was the last one? 6550.
Yeah, 6550, 6677, and 6481. That's the one with CKEditor.
Say the
The
last
previous
one.
ones were
The very
yeah,
last
the
one.
previous ones were sorry?
The very last one again. 64, the CKEditor one.
81.
6481.
Yep.
Okay. So Izzy, thank you for putting all these links in the chat. I did open up an agenda document where I've just copied all these links into it. There's nothing else really useful in the agenda, but it'll at least be a record of all the links we talked about. So, and I may post them all on Zulip. Go ahead.
Sorry, the other issue that we sort of like quickly, Easy mentioned it very quickly, is the one about the one that aims to improve the search functionality in Core, and that's 1320.
Yep, we have that on we have that in the list.
Yeah, we mentioned that I would like to mention that it's like the basic. So this was my thinking. This issue started exploring the various options, Ngram, Porter stemma, fuzzy sets, partial word sets. So it seems that we settled on partial word sets. Because there's valid comment from others there, I was thinking to convert that into a meta issue and start a new issue specifically for the partial word sets, because it's like a very simple pull request, just 4 lines being changed, that gets the actual feature in. The only thing that is complicated after that, and it's like a little bit of messy code, is how to highlight multiple search results and partial results. So that would be the one that would be more hard to review, I guess, or yeah, implement. Izzy, since you've been working on this, because I think it wasn't Larry, and I think it was Joseph. No, oh, it was Herb. Herb suggested that maybe we should do the one of the other methods. I can't remember if it's the fuzzy searching or Porter stemma. And how do you feel about what I just suggested? Making this a meta issue that examines the pros and cons of all these methods, and then splitting up a separate issue for the partial word sets and moving the PR there. How do you feel about that? Easy, you seem to be unmuted, but there's no audio coming from you. Not sure if you're still around.
Oh, sorry, I think I was still muted. I think what I'd like to see is we're going to have a chance to work on it. And I think if we can put in a setting on the search page so people can
Right.
decide if they want to use it or not, that would be probably sufficient to get it in. I did like the actual highlighting of the partial search results that you demonstrated in your proof of concept. But if that needs to be delayed, that would be okay to delay it. I'm not sure we need a whole meta issue for this. I think it's basically 3 steps. The partial search, which we've already seen works, putting in a config setting, and then highlighting the partial search results. So
yeah, when it comes to settings, from memory, there were 2 suggestions. I can't remember who suggested what. One was adding a checkbox that enables this feature in the settings configurations, so other configuration settings. And the other one was a checkbox that enables this in the actual search page. So
yeah, I think that's right. You suggested both, asked both, and I think doing it in the global is a good starting point. And then if we can add the other one for people when they're
Yep.
actually in the process of a search.
Yep.
Yeah.
So or we can make it smart enough. So if people search without that feature enabled and we return 0 results, then we can try to see if a partial match is made, and then there can be a message at the top saying that your exact search did not return any results. Here's a partial search or something like that. That would be cool to do as well.
Yeah, I think we should come back to this next time, and if we get a chance to work on it a bit more.
Yep.
The other thing I wanted to point out is that there is an issue 6677 to do with the jQuery going up to 1.14.
I just mentioned those issues a while ago. Maybe you weren't you didn't touch that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's 6677, 60. What's the other numbers?
6550.
6550, yeah, which is the previous one, and then the one about CK editor 6481.
Right.
Okay, I think most of those are in the chat.
All right, another issue that I would like to mention, that I've been working on and I need to get back to is 6575. So this one aims to unblock another feature that I was working on. And I think it's the last remaining out of 3 tasks, which is like the main issue is to convert the layout icons from PNG.
We're losing.
That we have strips out net. Sorry, can you still hear me now, Ben?
No, you disappeared for a bit. I didn't hear the last.
Okay, sorry,
5
apologies for
seconds.
that. It's my internet connection. So the issue that I was talking about is 6575,
Mhm.
and I need some feedback from core committers as well. So there have been respective changes in Drupal, in the respective Drupal functions that allow for this. So I would like us to get in the very minimal implementation that unblocks the other issue, 6487, and then we can iterate or include, like, tweak the regular expression even further.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. If there's nothing else or nothing else urgent, this might be a good opportunity to break, have a little bit of a pause before our next meeting.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Again, so Izzy has, I'm going to take and copy this whole list of issues and put it into Zulip so others can see it that aren't here. But thank you, everybody. Let's go ahead and wrap up this meeting. We will be having the user group meeting. We're going to talk about recipe packages, specifically the digital agency package, and also I'm very much looking for some feedback to do kind of a stable release on that, and also a sort of a what comes next discussion, like what to do next in terms of these recipes. Thank you.